All right, welcome back, everybody. My name is Jack Paisley, and this is the Sports Casual. And we've got more NFL and sports news to talk about from the free agency period. So let's get right into it. I thought the biggest story of the day was Sam Darnold and the Seahawks have signed a deal together. Um, on Sam Darnold's side, congratulations. Like, you had gotten the shit end of the stick for years with the Panthers. The Jets are obviously two like notoriously bad programs, unless your name is Cam Newton, is basically the only one, or Joe Namath, which, two outliers and one hasn't played in like 30 years or however long it's been since Joe Namath retired. That congrats to Sam on making big time money, capitalizing off of sitting behind, Brock Purdy at the 49ers and learning how to be an NFL quarterback. And then obviously he had a great year up in Minnesota this last year, kind of fell off at the end, but managed to spin that into over $100 million. So starting off, congrats to Sam Darnold, because I don't think anybody would have believed you. But this is following in Geno Smith's footsteps, who also had a similar journey of going to New York, uh, basically being called a bust, sitting for as a backup, him for a while behind Russell Wilson, and then obviously getting a start and capitalizing. And he's probably going to end up getting big money from the Raiders now. That congrats to Sam Darnold. From the Seahawks side, the only thing that I can understand is Sam Darnold's younger than Geno Smith, and he's probably a slightly better physical athlete. I'm not sure if he's a better thrower of the football, but athletically, in terms of like running ability as a quarterback, I would give Sam the edge over over Geno. And then you're kind of falling in love with the fact that he was a fringe MVP candidate through half of the season. With that being said, I don't think that Sam makes their team better. They shipped off or cut all of their receivers other than Jackson Smith and Jigba, and then Noah Fant, who is a middle of the road tight end in my opinion. As a Broncos fan that watched him struggle for years, that I don't think they're gonna elevate themselves into that next contender level. I think they're gonna be in a similar boat as when Geno Smith was their starting quarterback. I don't see how Sam Darnold, unless that MVP level is truly who he is now, which I don't think it is. I just don't see why you pivoted other than Sam's younger, so you can have that bridge quarterback even longer. Because I think both of these guys are bridge quarterbacks. I don't think I buy Sam Darnold as a franchise quarterback based off of a basically a 16 game sample size, because he didn't show up at the end of the year really, in those big games at the end of the year. So I think they're going to be in the same boat as they were with Geno, if not worse, because I think their offensive personnel got worse, shipping off DK and uh, Tyler Lockett basically. And then sticking with the quarterbacks, Justin Fields signed a 2 year deal with the Jets. Uh, I This is going to be similar to. I just don't see it working. I think that Justin Fields showed that he's essentially a better Tim Tebow is the classification I would put Justin Fields in. He is not a superstar. In the right system with the right game plan, he can be super effective, but he's just not a traditional franchise quarterback that we think of. That I think everybody thinks he is closer to a Lamar Jackson than he is. I think he's closer to Tim Tebow than Lamar. Uh, I think the only thing that's going to benefit him, other than the money, obviously, he flipped that into a nice little $20 million payday, which from the Jets' perspective is really good for a starting quarterback. That is not that expensive, so you can delegate that to elsewhere. Uh, I'm sure they have to pay some kind of cap hit for Rodgers, but uh, I think that the best thing for Justin here is that you have that young coach that seems like he asked to sign Justin Fields and believes in him, similar to like a Mike Tomlin. When in Chicago, you could feel that he had so many coaches that didn't seem to buy in on him. There's literally media stories about how they didn't believe in him, so he had to hug the coach just to prove that they were on talking terms. So I think they'll be fine. I think they're still looking for that franchise quarterback, but on the flyer chance that maybe that year behind Russ and with Tomlin will have flipped the switch in Justin. That's kind of what they're hoping for. And then Joey Bosa just signed a 1 year deal with the Buffalo Bills, which the Bills are. It's no secret they're trying to take down Kansas City, so they're trying to get people that will hit uh, Patrick Mahomes without having to blitz every time. I think that they basically swapped Von Miller for a different version of Von Miller that's a slightly younger. Joey Bosa is extremely injury prone in the last couple of years, and when he has been on, he has not produced at the same level that his brother Nick has. That I don't think he's going to be a immediate game changer. I don't think he puts them as the favorite. Um, I think it keeps them relatively the same. I think Vaughn probably provided better leadership to that team based off of the places he's won multiple Super Bowls now. He's a surefire Hall of Famer. I think they would have been better off keeping Vaughn if they could have talked him into lowering that number, which he rightfully should have turned down. Um, I don't think that Joey Bosa is the game wrecker that everybody thinks he is just because of his last name. That I don't think this is a terrible contract they're taking on, but I just don't think you're gonna see like a defensive player of the year candidate out of Joey Bosa at this point in his career. And then the Ravens announced they signed DeAndre Hopkins, another surefire Hall of Famer in my opinion. Has dealt with some of the worst quarterback play throughout a number one receiver's, career essentially, other than this last year with Mahomes, and then he had Deshaun Watson when he was really good for a while. Apart from that, he's had no quarterbacks that are throwing him the ball that are franchise, top 10 quarterbacks, and he's still put up numbers. I think we saw last year with the Chiefs that he's past being a top 15 receiver in the league. But I think that the aspect that he's going to add to this Ravens offense from a receiver standpoint is a lot of the receivers for the Ravens this last year were small, speedy guys like a Zay Flowers kind of thing. That I think he's going to add size and jump ball potential within the near the goal line, which they're already hard enough to stop near that. That I think that's going to be very helpful. I can tell you one thing: if that ball goes to DeAndre Hopkins instead of Mark Andrews, that's a surefire touchdown. The dude's got or a 2 point conversion. The dude's hands are huge, and he's known for having some of the best hands in NFL history. That I think it's a good move for them. I just don't think he's a true number one anymore. So I think he's kind of in that 2 to 3, where it's similar to like when AJ Green went to the Cardinals at the end of his career. I think he's gonna show spots where you're like, oh, he's still that dude, and then he's gonna kind of fade in and out of relevance within that offense, especially with you know Zay Flowers, who showed that he's a true number one last year, and then Derrick Henry also stealing some of the shine, uh, basically away from that position. And then this is not going to be a major news story, but I think it's one of the sneaky good moves from this offseason. Zach Wilson signed with the Miami Dolphins as a backup quarterback. And let's be honest, there is a very good chance that Zach Wilson's going to start some games next year because Tua is at this point like he is injury prone, both physically and then from the head standpoint, he's got a little bit of pudding brain, is what we've nicknamed it. Um, and I think this fit is really good for Zach. Zach had that same luck as like Sam Darnold and Gino, obviously up in New York, which is a common theme with the Jets. But I think sitting behind Bo Nix, Jared Stidham, with Sean Payton coaching him and having no pressure just to get better, he's still got all the athletic ability and physical traits that he got drafted based off of. I think he's just gonna have that year of there's a famous quote or like clip of Sean Payton being like, Zach, my job is to make you millions of dollars and make you better because I believe in you. And I think that you're going to see that if he gets the opportunity to start. And with that style of offense, it's really going to cater to his athletic ability and being able to showcase that all of his arm angle throws. And then he's actually a pretty solid throw on or like throw on the run quarterback that I thought it was a really sneaky good move that not a lot of people are talking about. So I hope Zach is gonna kill it out there because I think he was is gonna fit in really well over there. And then I kind of missed the train on this one, uh, and it came to no surprise that Josh Allen just signed a massive extension with the Bills. Um, I don't think anybody's surprised by that, especially after he got gifted the MVP. I still think he stole that award based off of voter, you know, either fraud or just getting tired of voting for Lamar. But earned a giant extension, which everybody knew was coming. Uh, one thing my one take on this, I think this is the last humongous uh contract that he's gonna get. I think that the way he plays the sport, his body will break down by the end of this contract, and I don't think he is a good enough pocket quarterback to scare everybody in the same way that like a Big Ben did kind of at the end of his even at the end of his career. That I think this will be kind of his pinnacle is this season or next season. Then it's going to slowly start to taper. I think you're going to start seeing nagging little injuries, uh, but signs a massive deal in Buffalo. Obviously, is one of the faces of the league with Lamar and Patrick Mahomes. That no one ever thought that he was gonna leave Buffalo. The dude is perfectly made to be in that city, and is the king of that city. So, uh, yeah, no surprises there that got done. And then this is kind of a bummer and golf related, but it got announced that Tiger Woods tore his Achilles. And in my opinion, this is gonna finally end the competitive golfing career of Tiger Woods. Um, and this is not a sad day. Like looking at all Tiger has done, it's not even debatable in my opinion that he is the greatest golfer of all time, and I would say has the greatest career of all time. He is one of the most notable and beloved sports figures in history, let alone currently. And in golf, it's not even close. Like if you talk to any golfer nowadays, the only golfer they looked up to is Tiger Woods. I mean, some of the guys maybe now would tell you about like a Phil Mickelson or a Rory McIlroy, but all of those guys looked up to Tiger, and rightfully so. The dude has brought so much money, eyes, and people into the game of golf that it's. I don't think you'll ever see another golfing career like it, and having a superstar that crossed over out of into casual fans like Tiger Woods. And this only sad part is that his body just has fallen apart. I mean, some of it is self-induced, like his car accident. I would say it was self-induced. Obviously his back he had to have multiple surgeries on. He had uh just basically his knees he went a little bit, and now his Achilles popped when he was basically trying to get ready for to play a tournament after his mother had passed for the first time. And I think this is gonna probably end it. I think you'll maybe see him try to play the Open one last time if he can get himself healthy enough to do it. I know he's talked about wanting to walk over that bridge one last time, uh, and then retire because he's a big links golf fan. Uh, and he'll probably do one last thing on his TGL thing that he created and looked like he was having fun. But it was definitely a bummer to see that news came out. But just all you can do is to say thank you to that dude for giving us all those moments. And I don't think we'll ever see him. He'll never win another tournament again. And I think you maybe get him for one kind of farewell tournament just so he can go out on his terms. But uh, yeah, it was a bummer to see that he popped Achilles, and yeah, I think it's time to salute Tiger and say hell of a career and enjoy retirement, and hopefully Charlie Woods can get it done, and elevate himself into that pro ranks, and use you as the continuation of Tiger's legacy. So, get well soon, Tiger. But that's all we got today. So thank you for coming back and watching. And this has been Jack Paisley and the Sports Casual. Have a great day. We'll look forward to seeing you next time.